Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of Some Like It Real. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Veronica.
And we're thrilled to be joined by the gentleman behind These Are My Friends, director Aaron Bartuska, and co-writer Will DiNola. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Great.
Fantastic. Thanks for having us, Bryan and Veronica. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you so much for coming on. We're very excited to chat with you about this film.
Yes.
We're excited to hear what you want to chat about.
I had the pleasure of watching this at where it made its world premiere at the Philadelphia SpringFest just a few weeks ago. And Aaron, I love coming-of-age films, so naturally this was a film that I knew was going to win me over. And the work that you and Will put into it was truly wonderful. So just so excited to break it down with you guys today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And just, before we get into talking questions about the movie and everything, Aaron, when we met at the screen and we were like, oh, let's set up an interview and everything, and then later that night, do you remember that experience later that night?
Yeah, I did. I don't think I told Will about this, actually, but Will and I were in the audience with seeing Obsession as well, which comes out in a week, I think, but also played at Philadelphia SpringFest, Curry Barker's new low budget horror film. And I was driving home and I didn't put two and two together that it was you, because I was just like, so I don't know if that makes the story better or worse, but I was jealous that you had snagged one of the Obsession posters, like the standees, and I was just driving down I don't know, what was it, like 2nd Street in Old City, and I was like, bro, nice Obsession poster, like, where was mine? And you were like, yeah, and I was, and then then you saw my embarrassing orange Kia Soul, so that is what it is.
I couldn't stop losing it. Like, I was literally walking and I just hear this random guy shouting about a poster, and I'm like, what do you want from me? And then you
I didn't mean to catcall
you. No,
it
was so great though, because when you drove past, I'm like, I think I know that guy. I'm not sure where I know him from, but then I'm like, wait a minute, that's Aaron, who I met earlier this morning and everything. So then when I messaged you saying, oh, I'm the guy who had the Obsession poster, you're like, oh my God, you saw my orange Kia Soul. You felt so hurt that I saw that car.
Well, everyone who came out to see the movie doesn't, unless they know me personally, they don't know the color and make and model of my car. So it just felt like a bit of a vulnerable thing, but
and now it's going public.
Now, yeah,
I know, and now everyone
speaking
knows.
just among friends. So
we're not here to judge what cars everybody drives. We're here to celebrate the movie that you guys put out. So I don't even know where to start, quite frankly. I've watched the movie now twice, and it was even better the second time for me. This is a film that really resonated with me, and it's the kind of film to where I'm like, I just want more of these. I just love a hangout film, a coming-of-age film, a Philadelphia set film. I love all the stories that I read about you guys making this film. So, Veronica, how should we start this off? By where should we begin?
Yeah, well, just to kick it off, so yeah, I also got the opportunity to see the film. I would have loved to see it in person at the film fest. It sounds like it was a great time. But yeah, for both of you, this is a one crazy night movie set at a party. It's filled with friends, acquaintances, and some people who are total strangers to each other. And Will, I loved your line as Brent when you say, when's the last time you saw so many great people in one place? And that's definitely, I've definitely thought that way when I've been at a large party or something. So making this film, particularly in the wake of the pandemic, what did you like about a party setting as an opportunity for connection and comedy?
Yeah, I feel like that, and I want to give you a chance to answer too, but that line, I forgot that line is kind of like the thesis statement for why we started making the movie, just because we half wanted to make a movie, I don't know, Will, you were doing your very time-consuming job. I was in New York, not even doing a film-related job, and we had both collaborated before on my previous feature, which Will composed, and we were like, we should just write something together that allows us to get a bunch of great people together in one place, because it had been so long since that happened. It feels so weird talking about this, 6 years on now, or like 4 years on since we made it, and like bringing up the pandemic is crazy. But it's a part of the making of the film, right? So I think we felt that for the first time when we brought it up during the Q&A. We were like, "Ooh, we just said pandemic," but it is why we made the film, because we wanted to get all these people together, create something that had a sense of togetherness, because that was just a thing that we hadn't had in a while, and we also hadn't had a party in a while. So what better thing to make a movie about than that? But Will, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't just decide to you couldn't decide to throw a party, and you couldn't decide to spontaneously go to one, really, because there was the bubbles and all that stuff. So yeah, we were definitely just missing it, and so it was kind of an excuse to do that. And I think with that line, it's funny you mentioned the line, because I think that the character that I play tends to he gets kind of fed these corny lines. Like, we wrote some little bit of corny lines, but they're very honest. Also, it's kind of what maybe everyone is thinking, but would be too cringe to say out loud. But it is very much true, And we were feeling that, I think, when we were making it, that it was great to be able to have the excuse to all get together, and all of these people that, especially, I mean, most of the people involved were Aaron's friends in different capacities. I mean, I had friends that were in it too, and have made since more friends from the process. But high school friends, college friends, lots of different groups, all kind of worlds colliding.
Yeah, and it's such a movie that, as a hangout movie, it's almost timeless in a way, but I think you do get that extra sense, because we all went through the pandemic. You get that extra sense of that connection that's sort of lacking, and maybe there's possibility of new ones. But yeah, that sort of psychology is definitely right there, even amid all of the comedy and hijinks.
Yeah, I really appreciated how poignant this film was, on top of the hilarity that was throughout the entirety of the movie. And I don't know if you guys had any specific films that inspired this. I'm sure you guys did. But, of course, the quintessential Hey Now film, one of the quintessential is Dazed and Confused. And that was one of the first films that I immediately thought of when I watched this. So were there any films that you guys wanted to pay homage to in particular while you were making this? Or did you guys go, we're not going to base this off anything, we're going to do our own original thing, and we're not going to say it's based on anything?
It's funny, because Will and I just had a phone call last night where we said we have to stop saying Dazed and Confused and Can't Hardly Wait are the influences for this film, just because it's big shoes to fill. But yes, no, those definitely were there. All the films of Richard Linklater are always on, in the back of my mind, just those conversation-driven films rather than plot. I also Slam Dance that year was big. We both checked out some films from Virtual Slam Dance in 2022, and a lot of those films were, Slam Dance always is the true indie film festival, and they program stuff that was actually doesn't have a famous person in it or studio backing or this one angel investor. It's a true ground grassroots filmmaking, and a lot of those films were made in this way that was just we just have to make a movie. And I think the interesting thing was most of the movies that premiered at that Slam Dance were shot prior to the pandemic, and now we're just getting the chance to come out. So again, I don't know if we exactly knew what we were biting off to have to deal with all the COVID restrictions and stuff like that. But a big one was Kit Zauer's film Actual People, which was also a half Philly set film. So we were also we can make a movie in Philly. I know there was a time we were thinking of setting it in New York just because that's where we both were. But we had more connections in Philly, and also Philly was just where we had spent the years that we wanted to write the film about. So seeing those Slam Dance films being made in people's hometowns and that was super influential. Will, have you thought? Oh, I've been wanting to say The Myth of the American Sleepover is a big one that I love, from David Robert Mitchell, and there's other ones that I'm forgetting. But
yeah,
did you think of any?
Well, it's funny because I think it's fun. The Dazed and Confused, obviously, I think like that's one we both saw. But I think what has been interesting is there's been so many that have come up that Aaron said that I have not seen. Like I haven't seen Can't Hardly Wait. I haven't seen The Myth of American Sleepover. I was thinking a lot about the Peanuts actually. Because I find those characters so iconic, and I really want to like I'm a movie guy, but I love TV, and I think like just love that you spend so much time with characters, and you really have these eccentric, hyper specific, cartoonish in the case of the Peanuts characters. So for me, I think I was thinking a lot about the Peanuts particularly. Like there was even I jokingly pitched that we maybe have a jazz like score to the film, which never transpired.
Was that a joke? I feel like that was.
It was, well, when I joke, it's serious. It's like it's usually like 75% serious. So.
I could definitely see that. Like this, it's it all takes place on one night, but you definitely get the sense that any one character is the star of their own TV show in a sense.
Totally.
I think Brent especially. It's like you there's a lot going on there, and we only get this one little glimpse, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Right.
I love that Peanuts illusion because now that you said it, I could see what you mean by that because every character is so specific, and when you watch Peanuts, you think of that same exact formula. So, I just thought of coming-of-age films. And if you think about it, Peanuts could be coming-of-age to a degree. But now that you said it, now that's all I'm going to be thinking about when I think about this movie going forward.
Yes, and Aaron has already made one film and is in the process of making a second film that are like offshoots of these characters. So I think like we did find that, especially once we got the actors to play them, that they did feel so lived in, and they did feel like they kind of deserved their own spotlight. So yeah, I don't know if Aaron, you want to speak to it more.
Thank you for the plug, Will.
Of course. Well,
I
created the characters, so
true. Yes,
it's my plug too.
It is. Yeah, there's like a little trilogy coming out of films in this universe, and follows certain characters from These Are My Friends. And I was just gonna say, I think it'd be funny to make like a Brent a movie about Brent in the style of like Uncut Gems. Like I don't know, like that's something
Absolutely.
That's great.
Writing you the check right now. I'm writing it out right now for you.
Hey, thank you. We need all the support we can get. But yeah, it's kind of just it's that we wanted to write characters that felt like they had their own lives outside of the films. But it's also just that it's very easy to work with your friends. So it's kind of like a double whammy of these characters are interesting to explore, but also by doing that I get to hang out with my friends more.
Of course, yeah. I had a chance to watch the Yardley Boys. I found it through your letterbox, but speaking of plugging, I believe it's available on physical media. Is that true?
Yes, you can get the Blu-ray at splittoothmedia.com. It's also, if you search for 30 seconds, you can find a link to watch it for free, unlisted on YouTube, which I'm not really trying to make money off of it. I just want people to see it. So, but the Blu-ray, I put a lot of work into it. It's got cool art. It's got short films, commentary. So
I have the Blu-ray. Yeah. I have.
You do.
Yeah.
Yep. That was our one marketing. That was one of our marketing gimmicks, was giving one out to as many people as we could who came out to see These Are My Friends.
That was the greatest treat of going to a screen. You go to a screen for a movie, and then you're handed a Blu-ray for coming. That's what I want.
Did
that.
Right, and it's the sequel, or it's related.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I love
that's
that.
Awesome. And speaking of both films, Yardley Boys is black and white and sort of contrasted with the really warm look of These Are My Friends. So I was wondering, do you have a preference for working with a certain visual style, or what you're looking to do moving forward, or does it just depend on the story?
Yeah, it depends on the story. It depends on the vibe. I wouldn't say I'm a style over substance guy, but I definitely I think that the style could kill a film before the substance. A lot of times. Mm-hmm. So, I think there was a time, Will, where we were thinking of putting These Are My Friends in black and white with the jazz score, but then our DP, Ben Schofield, I think quote said like "I will kill you" because he put work into lighting that movie. Which it looked like on the big screen it looked so warm, and like once Max Lusky did the color grade, it just like that would have been a huge mistake. But for the Yardley Boys, we made it much cheaper. I shot it myself with my friend Matt, and we shot it on not as nice of cameras, even though I still think it looks pretty good. But it just felt better in black and white. It felt like black and white's sort of like a cheat code for indie films because it just gives you automatic consistency. And that isn't why we chose it, but it also helped, and it helped to set it apart from These Are My Friends while also being in the same universe. So I don't really have a preference. It's kind of just whatever if I'm watching the film and I think it would look better in black and white, it's the same thing with the aspect ratio. All of my films are in 4:3. I've tried to make movies in normal 16:9 or wider screen or with letterboxd or anything, stuff like that. And it just never looks as good as it does in 4:3. I think it's just like the perfect aspect ratio. So, yeah.
I really loved the 4:3 for this movie in particular because it added to the claustrophobicness of when you were inside at this party. And I think that if it had been 16:9, I like that you brought up of how you've tried to dabble in that, but you feel more comfortable with the 4:3. But I think that for this movie, it really enhances it beautifully. I can't picture it with a wider lens, but here the tighter picture of it, I think, benefits it greatly.
And it
was also very practical. Were you going to say what I was about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a production hack in that you don't need to hire as many extras because if you go wider, you're forced to convince everyone more that there's more people there and all of that. So, do
you know the exact amount of extras you had for this film? On top of your head? I mean, I know you shot it so many years ago, but I'm curious.
I don't have an exact number, but I know there are more than 75 people listed on the Letterboxd cast page. So it's a good amount of people. And we started running out by like week 3. People were like, okay, we were like, that's cute. You're doing the movie thing. We helped you out last weekend. Like we started using like, I don't know. Will was probably in a scene and then would change his shirt and be in another scene with just his shoulder like in the frame or something. Like we were getting really crafty with it, but
the DP is an extra. Yeah, the DP is one of attended the party. You attend the party at a point, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm in the party. Yeah, every crew member was at the party at some point.
The director's cameo is very important too, by the way. It's very crucial to a film. And a lot of people don't recognize that.
Yeah, most would say Hitchcock, but I'll say Shyamalan. That's who taught me to want to do the director's cameo. So
absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned the party like we talked about. I think that there were just so many like specific party moments. Everyone's having a different night. Some people flirting, some deep talk, some throwing up. Stuff like the Kings game, the couples fight where they're really just actually in agreement. All of those things. I'm wondering how much of that was written in the script. Was there any improv or things that the actors brought to you on set?
It was an interesting process because this is the most scripted thing I've ever done. I'm usually an improv guy. The Yardley Boys was fully improv. We just had like a 7-page outline, I think. But with this, we wrote a whole script. I think it was like 110 pages. And we treated it like, I think we wrote a lot of the character arcs as like short stories and then figured out the order to put them in. And really the only time we improvised was because it was such a rigorous schedule too that we couldn't really afford to a lot of times. If an actor had an idea of something they wanted to do, we would let them do it. Or if a scene just really wasn't working, then there's one scene after Pat and Carmine have sex under the Bob Seger poster where they have a post-coitus conversation, and that scene just was not working, and we had that actress Vivi Mikhail for one day, and we knew we just needed to move, and so we kind of restructured that to not be, and same with their argument scene too, we kind of restructured it to not be exactly what we had on the page. and that's why that one shot in the bed is like panning back and forth in a one shot rather than cutting like so many other scenes in the movie, is because that just helped them feel more natural doing it in one go. It helped the actors, and then so it really just depended on what the actors' needs were. Will, do you have anything?
Yeah. I mean, it was, yeah, I think we just tried to go in with that as much of an arc for each character as possible. So in that way, it was very structured in terms of the script. But yeah, pretty much any time someone was like, this doesn't make sense, or I feel like I wouldn't say it this way, we both have no sort of qualms with the actor trying it another way.
Awesome. And Brian, I think Brian and I both recognized that there were some amazing references for film fans in the movie. As soon as I heard it's about womanhood, there's baseball in it, I was like, League of Their Own. But I'm a cheerleader joke, great. And then it seems like that, and there's also both Yardley Boys and this. There's skateboarding featured pretty prominently. Just wondering if there are any other personal touches that were important to you, or maybe important to you and your friend group that you knew had to be included in the film.
Right. It is interesting that I've made 2 movies about skateboarding now, because I cannot skateboard at all. The one time I tried, I kind of fractured my shoulder. So but I really am just gravitating towards building films around my friends and what they like to do. And so if they feel most natural skateboarding, then I'm going to make a movie about skateboarding as long as my friends can be in it. Right. But in terms of references, I know we hung a puffy chair poster in one of the scenes that you can barely see, but that was just hopefully the Duplass brothers see this and want to fund one of our next films. And I know we hopefully, I hope so. But we also put, I don't know. There's a Hot Mulligan banner hanging at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in terms of the soundtrack, I think there's I guess, I don't know if you could say it's Easter eggs necessarily, but a lot of those bands are Philly based or Friends bands. And so I think we intentionally, both from a practical standpoint of being able to have the license to use them, but also because we wanted to, let people hear these bands and become aware of them, we included those. So I think that's something as well.
I also think Chloe did a great job costume designing it and working with the actors to give them Chloe Tolderland was our costume designer, give them outfits that reflected the characters that we wanted, but also Pap is wearing they're all wearing their own clothes. It's just what worked best for them out of their own wardrobe. And then Pap has some funny shirts. If you look at Carmine's character has a shirt made by that Instagram account Paperback Paradise, who was super game to let us use their funny shirt, and then he just has a cool Philly shirt. So through the costume design too, there were some cool tidbits.
I want to briefly talk about how this movie, as we've alluded to throughout this interview, the movie is able to balance the humor and the heart. And I wrote down one particular quote that has stuck with me since I saw the movie at the SpringFest screening. Getting older is the fucking worst. We got to celebrate it. Otherwise, it's just a countdown. So for a movie, again, that is so funny, that has all these hilarious moments sprinkled throughout, you have to ride a fine line by incorporating the very poignant and serious moments. So how were you guys able to balance that tone?
I'm very happy to hear that you like that line, because I've gotten so much shit for that line from my friends.
No, I'm a sucker for lines like coming of age is my favorite genre, and lines like that, they're just my bread and butter.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though, because I think sometimes someone can see a certain line as funny, right? That is also serious or cutting in another way. And I think we try to write it in an honest way. I think also as the party gets further into it, there's a sense that it's a little more serious. People are getting to know each other a little bit more. The drinks are being had, the weed is being smoked, and it's like there's a little more truth that comes out, a little more honesty. I think that we were aware of that, and then just in trying to get something that's deeper for these arcs, I think that's why maybe there's those lines later that feel a little more serious. But yeah, it can also it can hit people in different ways too, because sometimes, like you said, the great having all the great people in one place line, I always laugh at, but I think it's also a line that you could be like, oh, that's cute, and it's not, so I think it depends how you hear it and where you are in your life too.
Yeah, there's the other line that you say when you walk out in the morning and you look back at the apartment and you're like, that's the thing about parties. There's always going to be another one, which I think we laughed writing. Like, I think we laughed writing that down. And then also, but in
that was
the
one of the hardest. That was probably my hardest scene.
Yeah,
I think to deliver that scene, just like it was almost like a look at the camera moment, which we didn't do, but we almost thought about it, or I thought about it, at least. But because it is a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it's a hard one to deliver, earnestly.
We give a lot of people some tough lines to deliver, but they did it, and I think it is that balance of, earnestness and comedy and vulnerability, and probably doesn't work for a lot of people, but hopefully it works for more people than it doesn't. So.
Yeah, hard to spiritually break the fourth wall without literally breaking the fourth wall, but it pulled off great. And it's completely both observational comedy and also like something that is very true and beautiful, and a party can definitely bring that out, I feel.
I've been to a few that do. So.
And then I think we can touch on, Bryan said that I can have this question all for myself. Not really a question, more of a comment. I'm a theater kid, so the working the musicals into conversation, the bringing up Hadestown and saying you just got to see it, like it's different when you see it, you can read about it. I think anyone who knew me, circa 2015 when I was trying to like evangelize Hamilton to anyone who would listen, I just want to connect theater kid to theater kid. Whose connection is that, or is that kind of a little bit of everybody who is big into the musicals?
I think go ahead.
I think it's funny. Neither of us have seen Hadestown.
Yes.
So we just kind of wrote that bit.
Yeah. I think it's interesting you say Hamilton, because I think definitely like that would have been the most obvious choice, because I think there was a lot at that time. I mean, it's great. I haven't seen it actually. I've only seen the movie and listened to the album, but it seems to be it's great, right? But it's like anytime you have something that's so great, people are like, there's fans and people expressing their love for it, and I think like I think like we said, we haven't seen Hadestown, but there is a sort of trend, and I think I have done this before, of just when you're not sure how to interact at a party, you kind of just talk about what you're interested in at the moment, And I think that character is really into that musical right now, and he doesn't really know where to go and who to talk to, but that's what he's going to go with. And it's like his hyperfixation at the moment. So I think that's the truthful piece, at least for me, is that, I've done that before with certain topics or whatever.
It happens to me all the time. Every time there's always one particular thing that I just glaze about nonstop, and then everyone's like, can you just shut up and move on?
Right. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, though. I mean, it's like it's annoying. It can be annoying, but it can be like fun, because eventually you usually do hit someone who is, like into it with you, and then it's like, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel at ease when you finally reach that person.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm constantly worried the only thing I know how to talk about is movies. So it's like that also was a part of that character too, where I'm just like, even since making this movie, I'm like, am I talking about movies too much? You can
never talk about movies too much.
You're right. You know what? I shouldn't be saying that to the movie podcast hosts, but Veronica, to answer your question, I think I would say I'm more of the theater kid, probably, just in terms of I don't know. Will, did you do theater in high school?
I was Captain Von Trapp. Thank you very much.
Well done.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
But-
you had a
no,
lead.
but-
I never had a lead.
The
Yeah,
hills are
no.
alive, baby.
But I was always a reluctant, like my school was very small, and I was like doing mock trial and stuff like that, and they pulled me in. Though I did do plays for a long time.
Cool.
Very, very
I
Tread
did
Bolton
plays
of
in
you.
high school too.
I was a theater fan from a distance. I retired my acting career when I was 12, and then I moved on to bigger and more bolder opportunities when everyone was tossing things my way. I'm like, all right, simmer down. I'm overwhelmed. This is a very random question that I have for the two of you, and I have to ask, since this film was set in Philly, what to you guys, unrelated to this film, would you say is the definitive Philly movie? Because I've had this discussion with many, many people, and a lot of people have different answers, but I would love to get you two to answer this question to see if you guys have similar answers or different ones.
This is really tough. I've been thinking a lot about Philly movies. Are you talking about for me or for the city?
Both. If you want to answer for both, be my guess.
For the city, the easy answer is Rocky. That's also the
course.
boring answer.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say Philadelphia because it's already got the
Philadelphia's
name.
great.
It's already got the name.
It's in the title after all.
But I haven't
It's
seen.
into
I
our
actually haven't
city.
seen it.
I just rewatched Philadelphia, and it's one of the best directed movies of all time. Jonathan
Yes,
Demme.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
oh my god. Do you have another
but I-
one though, Will?
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, the thing about Rocky, besides it being set there, is just it does have the. I mean, it has the sports energy of the city.
The
in it.
underdog, the rags to riches.
Yeah, like that is so like you can feel so viscerally there. I mean, and so I think that is just the answer, even though it's a boring
it
answer.
cursed the city. It cursed the
It
city
really
for
can't.
50
And then
years.
yeah, it really can't.
Or until we won the Super Bowl.
Right, and I think I guess Stallone knew that too when he was like, didn't someone offer him money to make it for more, and he's like, no, I want to be the star and I want to shoot it in Philly.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much,
You know,
right?
Will, there's a biopic coming out about this in November.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll be able
cool.
to
I
see.
play Rocky.
I play Rocky, yeah. But yeah, no, he insisted on being the star. I think he took less money. It had a lower budget. I just showed Rocky to all of my film students at the school I teach at. We went on a field trip to the Princeton Garden Theater, Brian, and
Let's go.
we watched Rocky. I do think, though, I would be remiss if I didn't say a Shyamalan movie. So I think I'm
course.
probably, in terms of, like, the movie that got Philly the most exposure, probably The Sixth Sense. Because I think, and I could be wrong, I think that is the highest grossing movie that's come out of Philly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I could be wrong.
I mean, there's that. Blowout is a quintessential Philly movie, of course. Like,
Good
that's
one.
probably the one for me. Veronica, do you have a favorite Philly movie?
I am a Jersey girl. I've enjoyed Philly the couple of times I've been there, but yeah, it's not my specialty. But I love all the ones.
What's
you
your
mentioned.
favorite Jersey movie? Do you have a favorite
God.
Jersey movie?
I didn't
Oh,
think
this
about
is
that. I
easy for
mean,
me.
Clerks was like big when I was, first learning about film and stuff. So that's the first that comes to mind. But why, Brian? What's yours?
It's between Garden State and Patterson. Those are the two for
Ooh.
me. I love Patterson.
Yeah,
very
I really
much.
love.
Yeah.
Patterson is
Yeah.
yeah, good one.
Not a great city, but a very good film. Just want to
Sure,
point that
I-
out.
Yeah. You got to check out, Veronica and Brian, you should check out Baby It's You. It's a harder to find one, but Vinegar Syndrome put out a Blu-ray release, but it's like 80s period piece, like almost fully Springsteen soundtrack, like before he was big enough for that to cost a lot. And it was really I discovered, I live right outside of Trenton currently, and there's like shots of the Trenton Makes Bridge, and I was like kind of mind blown watching this 80s movie. That's a good like hidden gem quintessential Jersey one.
Literally past that bridge, just not even an hour ago when I was coming home for this interview.
Yeah,
It's a great bridge.
So what else should we ask, Veronica? Is there any final questions to pose to these gentlemen about their film?
No, you mentioned that this is going to be a trilogy of sorts. I'm wondering if you can tell us anything about what's coming up next for you guys.
Sure, yeah. I'll talk about the trilogy first, and then Will can talk about anything he's working on. Because the trilogy kind of encompasses both of us. We don't know plans for These Are My Friends going forward, but we're really going to try to use the momentum of SpringFest to get it to screen a couple more places, and then we'll see where it goes from there. The Yardley Boys is online. It's available on Blu-ray. Will wrote a credit song for that, and it is based on characters that he helped create. And then the third film, called Everyone's Here, also follows Chris from These Are My Friends, played by Gemma Jalucci, and it also takes place in Philadelphia. Yardley Boys takes place in the suburbs of Bucks County. This one is back to Philly, and Will is doing the score for that, and I co-directed that with my buddy Peter Charney, but Will's doing the score for that. So hopefully that one's done by early 2027, and then we can take that summer to kind of just like get them out to people as a package deal. I don't know. I feel like it's cooler to show up places with a trilogy than just with one movie. So maybe that'll work out. But yeah. And then I don't know. What do you got? You got a newsletter. You got stuff you should plug.
Oh, sure. I have a newsletter called Do. If anyone's interested, it's named after an album I made, and it's I just similar to this show. I talk to different people that I'm interested in their work, and we talk about art and music or writing, all that kind of good stuff. And I'm excited. The score of Aaron's new film, and pretty much it.
We've also been kind of workshopping a movie idea for a while that we probably, I think this weekend invigorated us to get back to the drawing board on it. But
or the Brent Uncut Gems thing. I think that's the first time I'm hearing of that.
Yeah.
It came to me in a dream the other night. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the biopic. We're getting I Play Rocky. I'm waiting for I Play Brent. I'm waiting for that to happen. I can't wait for that to come to fruition. I do have one final question before we close it off, and this is a very cliched, sentimental question. So, you guys, you talk about having full-time careers, but you're very passionate about bringing stories to life. What are some pieces of advice that you guys have for people who are inspiring to also tell stories out there, whether it's through film, television, music, books, what have you?
You can go. I can go.
I'll try. I mean, so I kind of spend my time. I'm a high school film teacher currently, so I kind of spend my time trying to inspire the lower end of Gen Z to want to create things, and it's just, I think the best thing you can do. My mentality has always been just keep making stuff. You don't need money to make stuff, but also, the whole just go out and make a movie, man. That sort of thing is kind of I subscribe to that, but also it's harder now because there's so many times when you make a movie and then it just goes nowhere, and so you kind of also have to. It's half making the movie and then half sticking up for your movie and really getting it out there and getting it in front of people, which is hard, especially if, you have a post-production process like we did for These Are My Friends, which was just so long and excruciating. And by the end of it, I didn't even want to watch or talk about the movie anymore. So it was tough to then, be its biggest cheerleader and really, but you have to realize that other people are not going to see the stuff you make unless you give them a reason to. And now that's half the battle, right? No one's going to come and be like, I loved your film, here's $1 million. That is kind of Will and I were talking the other night about how that's gone, or like, you know, the Will, your example was like the Paul Thomas Anderson thing of just like shadowing on set and then working your way up. Like that's kind of gone. If you're a good PA, people want you to be a PA for the rest of your life, right? So it's you do have to make things. Yes, you have to make things that stand out. I don't even know if I've done that yet, but then you also the next most important piece is really spearheading that work and making sure people see it. And the more work the better, right? It's like yes, you should be doing quality control, but I think, again, what I said a second ago, I think people are more likely to look at a trilogy of indie Philly films than they are to look at just one. And also it's important to not break the bank and be able to feed yourself and stuff like that. Like don't do what we did with These Are My Friends, which is I sunk my life savings into it, and then I was kind of screwed for a little while. And I'm back and I'm good and it's whatever, but I would never do that again because it's just not gonna happen as quick as you think it's gonna happen. The success. But this SpringFest screening is a testament to that. It does happen. Like, this is the best thing we could have seen for the film, is premiering at SpringFest. Maybe we didn't know that, but having been there that weekend, like, that's the best place that film could have premiered. That's the best audience it could have premiered to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think something we learned too from this process was just that you need to let go of outcome. And I know there's so much pressure on, and of course you want it to do well. You want a bunch of people to see it. And I know you were saying, Aaron, to like really you have to be your own cheerleader, and all that is true. But I think what we kind of learned is as soon as we kind of felt like the movie was not good, like it was not going to go anywhere, and we were like, we did a test screening just for the friends and family, people that worked on the movie, and you know that was a great experience. And after that, we're like, you know, that was fun. We made something. And you know, another thing I was going to say before Aaron even spoke was process is just the most important thing. Like like getting joy from the process, because you don't know the outcome, and if you put all of your, you know, self-worth onto the outcome and not kind of just that I'm doing this, I'm creating, because life is creating, and then you're gonna wind up feeling not so great, you know, if something that you didn't plan happens. I think just like in life in general, you have to be open to the uncertainty. And then as soon as we kind of we're like, okay, well, whatever happens, then we get this email that it's gotten into SpringFest, right? And we didn't anticipate that. I mean, I didn't even know about it, honestly. I just knew about Philadelphia's film festival, but I didn't know they did something in the spring, right? And they did it, and it was fantastic. And we were saying this was probably a better time for it to premiere too, because we had more time to promote and all this kind of stuff. So I think you just that would be my advice, is just try to let go. And it's very hard, especially when money is a piece of it, but try to let go of outcome as much as possible and just let the thing be what it is, and take to heart the process.
One more thing, if I can build off of that, because you reminded me of something, Will. I can't let you have the mic drop, I'm sorry. But it reminded me of one thing that I make films with Bobby Decker all the time. He's Benson in this and the Yardley Boys. And his sister makes an appearance in the Yardley Boys as well. But I remember one day I was over his house and I was complaining about making a movie. I think we were shooting Everyone's Here, and I was just complaining about something didn't go right or whatever. And she was on the couch, and Bobby was trying to, you know, calm me down, whatever. And then Laurel was just like, remember, you get to do this. And that kind of like stuck with me, where it's like, yeah, we get to do this. We get to make movies. So it's like, no matter how hard it gets, you really are creating your own problems and then solving them. It's kind of an insane thing to do. It's like, just none of it's that deep. You gotta, it is the process. You gotta have fun doing it. And if you're not having fun making the movie, then people aren't gonna have fun watching it. So.
And
Absolutely.
We had a lot of fun with this interview. Great way to segue into that. Aaron and Will,
Oh, yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. This was an absolute blast getting to talk to you guys about this film, your stories as storytellers, and just having fun with. Now I consider you guys my friends. So
There we go.
That's
now
what
you
it's all
guys are-
about.
so these are my
These are my
friends.
Yeah, and it's really really exciting that I hope that the reception to this does fuel some of that fire and invigorates you, because yeah, I think that Bryan and I both love your work so far, and I'm sure that we and everyone else would love to see more whenever you're ready. And I do recommend you see Hadestown if you're in town in New York. It is very good.
Yeah, I really do want to see it. I do want to see it.
There's a reason why it's been on Broadway for as long as it has been.
Yeah.
True.
All right, thank you guys so much for the conversation. Bryan, if you want to wrap it up.
Yes, go watch These Are My Friends. Keep up to date with it, and you will see it hopefully very, very soon. And if you guys want to continue following along our journey with this podcast, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Bryan Sutfield.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Vera Albarella, and on Letterboxd at Alba_real_A.
And Aaron and Will, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Would you guys like to plug your work and telling our listeners where they can find you?
Sure, yeah. Bartuska Aaron on Instagram and Aaron Bartusk on Letterboxd. And then you can find my work. If you look up my name, you can hopefully find something that I've done.
Yeah, my Instagram is just Will DiNola MX. That'd probably be the best place to find me.
Perfect.
And
All
thank
right.
you all for joining us. And till next time, goodbye.
Thank you. I'll see you next time.